Okay, everybody, this is Tyler Ross with The Grind and the Good Times, and I'm your host of the show, and my co-hosts are with me tonight. And on the screen, I've got Blake King and Miss Everly Ross. They're here. This is episode 002. And before I introduce our guests, I've done a little introduction. I'm going to try to start doing for all our guests, but this is... I'm pretty sure I got my notes right. I made several phone calls for this, but the only man that's ever shot a three-pointer from the goal line and also scored a touchdown from the basketball court. He's got electricity in his veins. He's a lineman with a local power company, one of the GOATs when it comes to men's league basketball and softball. He's a semi-professional crappie fisherman and a Hall of Fame wakeboarder and the face of Guntersville. He is a living legend. He is really good. And I worked hard on that. I feel like it's pretty legit. I really am honored and excited that you could be here with us for episode 002. And I'm going to try to start doing some little gifts. This is a little cheap little cup, but it's all right. We like Bigfoot around here.
Yeah.
That looks more like Lady Bigfoot, maybe. I don't know, but you know, I'll tell you what, we've got some stickers and we can put a better looking Bigfoot on there before you leave. It is a great honor to have you here. There's a lot of things that we can talk about tonight. It's all good. There was a time when you got little, that I'm sure you made a lot of people nervous one time. We'll talk about it too. Right. But the first time that I ever met you was on a softball field. And I instantly, after talking to you, knew that you were different and in a good way, as far as just, you had that light about you where even if nobody knew you, they knew you was a godly man. And that says a lot because I know how I get on the softball field from time to time and I've got a little sideways. Right. But every time we've played lots of games since then together, been on the same team a lot. You beat me several times too, but that's part of it. But after that, and then you was my boss for a little bit.
That's right.
I think I've had maybe two good bosses out of my 15, 17 year span, and Steve Martin was one of them that I really appreciated and respected, and you were the other. There's been some lead linemen and different things like that in my life that's been a lot, but you was actually my supervisor, so you right. you were my boss man.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm trying not to lie too much, and I
right.
think maybe the only
all those things my mama believes too.
Yeah, so, yeah. Well,
she's the only one.
Your mom's who gave me a couple of these. I called her earlier.
That's what my mama said.
So, She said there's video of the three-pointer and the goal line shot. So she's supposed to be, it was from 95, I think. So, it's on one of those old shoulder mount video cameras. But I want to talk about your program y'all do with the local prisons, or maybe just be one. I don't know, right. But if you don't care, maybe get into some of that with us.
Yeah, so we are Kairos of St. Clair. Kairos is a prison ministry statewide. My chapter is just St. Clair. It's actually in it's right out of Springville, Odenville. It's down in Odenville, Alabama, right off of Interstate 59 between Gadsden and Birmingham. So we go in twice a year. We go in the spring. We go in the fall. We do a team building process, about a 10-week team building process where it's a program that it's laid out, but we facilitate and put different people in different spots, doing different talks, and just allow the Spirit, just to work through us as we facilitate this program through different people, have different people step up to lead it. I lead music, play guitar, love to lead worship, and so I'm always on the worship team. But I do, talks in there, and so just seeing God work through the inmates, and it's been an awesome thing for us to go in and seeing how it has changed. St. Clair is now the only prison in Alabama with a 501c3 state-recognized church. The Church of the Chosen
that is
inside.
awesome.
And what they have done inside, seeing us come in for years, seeing us leave our families and take time to come in and pour into them. They now, Justin Simpson, Tommy Plunkett, Jimmy Click, all these guys inside that have worked the chapel, they are now leaving the honors dorm. They are now going into some of the hardest blocks with the most stabbings, with the most fights. And for a year now, they have taken one of the hardest blocks. They have not had a stabbing, a fight. They have not had anything within over 11 months.
That's I got chills hearing that.
Yeah,
that is impressive.
Seeing them want to do what we're doing, going in, taking time, going in, and now they're leaving the comfort that they have in honor dorm, going into other blocks and changing those blocks, and seeing that happen. It's just been awesome.
That is awesome because how long have y'all been doing that program with that prison there?
I don't know. This is Kairos 75 that we're fixing to go in now.
Okay.
So we do 2 a year. So, I mean, you figure that 30-something years that we've been going in.
Okay, so you wasn't one that kind of founded or nothing. Okay,
No.
all right. Well, the cool part about it is y'all are literally, I don't know how long it took, but it is working, and that is, man, that's amazing.
It is amazing.
You know, with what all's gone on in the past, last week with a good godly man being assassinated, I try to stay off that pretty, as much as I can. But it was so impressive afterwards to see how everyone come together and just held strong to their faith and their beliefs in God. And there wasn't any tearing anything down or any more killings.
Right.
So if you can manage that in a prison where there's obvious killers,
Right.
and you can slow that down, then that says so much about just the work of God and how if he can move in a prison, he can move right here,
Amen.
right here in our communities.
You can.
So that's awesome. I'm glad to see that and hear that it is something that everybody is witnesses. Have you ever? I'm going to ask this because of last week. Have you or any of your group received death threats from the inmates while y'all were in there?
No, we haven't received death threats. I mean, my very first time walking in across the yard, now they've got, when we walk across the yard, they've got a lot of fences up so that the inmates can't come out of the dorms and be right with us. Used to, we were walking straight through population, everything. My very first time in, throw a guy on the ground, taking him down. He's got a shank on him, this long that he's made, and it's sharp. And
where did it come from?
They've
been working on that in a while.
They can get what they need inside. And so it was just, that was that very first experience, hearing those doors locked, walking across that yard wide open. Anybody can do whatever they want to do to you. They'll tell you they run the prison. There's not enough correctional officers to control anything that they do. But they really, for that weekend, they really make sure that people are on point and people don't. But seeing that very first time is like, oh, it just got real.
Yeah, okay. What I see on TV is for real.
Yeah,
and I'm actually laying here. I'm standing here beside it. It's real.
I've never felt really threatened at all in there.
Well, that's good. That would be a place that I would more understandably feel threatened than walking down the road or at a store. For my beliefs or trying to push a belief on someone. That's what y'all are there, trying to introduce God to people that I'm sure there's several on death row down there.
They know, and they run it on the inside. And when we come in, there's people that say,
there's some top dogs over there.
There's some big ones in there that say, no, you shut it down. Nothing happens.
Well,
these guys come in.
That's
it really is.
That's pretty impressive.
It's wild.
Well, so I just realized that I got you a cup but didn't get your water.
No, you're fine. I'm good. I don't need it. I'm good.
I'll try to do better. But that I like the fact that the program is working and y'all are getting to witness, the works and the fruits and that says a lot about your whole group, I think.
Yeah.
How many probably is in your group?
Well, the group will rotate from time to time, from each time we go in, but mainly we probably go in with 55 to 60, including runners that run food in. We stay at a camp called Camp Utopia in Springville. There's a kitchen there. We have women and men back at the camp who cook our meals. We bring meals in. We have guys that run meals in and out. So we'll have 42 residents, 42 inmates. We call them residents of that weekend. We'll have 6 of them at a table, 3 of us at a table. We'll do talks, and then we'll have posters that we have them draw posters. What did it mean to you? What did you take from it? They'll draw something on the poster, and they'll kind of draw what they took from it, and then we'll take them up, and then by the end of the weekend, we let them come up and start sharing about what they took from each talk, and let them start giving back to us and start opening up. And it's really good. So we'll have 42 of them, about 55 of us. And then we've got what we call chas, who are inmates who have been through the Kairos program, now serve in the chapel, and they go serve them. And that's one thing that they don't do inside prison. You're on your own. They don't serve each other. And just creating a weekend that they can come in. We meet in the gym now. Come into the gym for Thursday through Sunday and just let their walls down, and just let them have a weekend that they're not just constantly looking over the shoulder, worried about what's going to happen. They can come in, relax. They have other inmates, they have other residents serving them drinks. We take in 800 dozen cookies. We take in the meals. We take in all the stuff, and they just are able. Just one of the biggest things for them is just letting their guard down.
Yeah, that's got to be.
And then hearing the word of God and how we are just people that have messed up in our own lives.
We're all sinners.
Yeah, that's right.
Some have just got
sharing
to
our experiences,
live a little bit different life, and better, better roads we got to take. But well, I think you sent me a picture earlier this year. Maybe you was in Belize.
Yeah.
Was that a mission trip or was that just vacation?
No, that was a mission trip. We took 30 to Belize and got to work in a village called San Antonio down there.
Okay, San Antonio, Belize. Okay.
And stayed in a place called Santa Lana, a city called Santa Lana, but drove to San Antonio to work in that village every day, and got to work with a bunch of kids in that village, and just trying to start sharing and spreading the word, start a church there. And
is that your first time in Belize?
It is.
How was the environment?
Very hot.
Very hot? Yeah. Humid or just hot?
Jungle.
Jungle.
So we did some hard work down there, but we did a lot of work with kids and kids camps and stuff like that. And
but they really enjoyed it and had a ball.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
Well, that's pretty cool. I've never really, I've never done any mission work.
Yeah.
That's just something we small Baptist churches. I mean, some do, some don't, but I respect the ones that go out of town. Honestly, I like the Kairos program probably a little bit more just for the fact that that's a big step on some levels that I probably don't know if I could handle. Going down there knowing these guys, how they're going to react and if they're going to be angry or what. But it sounds like y'all got them turned around and on the right track especially for a prison with a year of nothing serious. And used to, you would always hear something about that particular prison around here.
Now they have had stabbings in the prison, just not in these blocks that these guys are going into.
Right.
They're changing the atmosphere of those certain blocks.
Baby steps, and it sounds like they may be starting to do a little crawling or a little more than that.
You can go down on Wednesday nights. You can go walk through and go to church down there. Wednesday night you want to go join or just go to a Church of the Chosen service, they would welcome. And you talk about 130 inmates shaking your hand, looking you in the eye, saying thank you for being here with us.
Wow.
And I'm talking about
just a full spiritual
worshiping to a little bit different than the Baptist churches.
Right.
Sometimes we're the Church of the Frozen Chosen. So we're they are not the Frozen Chosen down there.
You probably got so many different everything down there. I mean, you guys, I can imagine. I kind of want to go now.
The praise and worship is not just like our praise and worship. They actually rap John and Jimmy Click and some of those guys.
They out there getting it.
They can.
Jesus
There's
Jam.
some talent. You won't believe how much talent is there in that.
All right. Well,
drawing, creating, making guitars to rapping to, just musical. People that play guitar that we get to swap up and play with. It's like unbelievable.
Man, I hate
it's
that.
fun. Yeah.
They're
just
like
people.
They get
they're
that.
People.
Yeah,
a lot of people think that they're getting what they deserve, and that's what they say. They'll tell you, we are the trash of the society. If I'm outside these walls and somebody takes my life, they will get 25 to life minimum. Once I come inside these walls, If somebody takes my life, they get 1 year added onto their sentence. My life is not worth anything. So they feel like they're thrown away. They are the trash of the society. And so we get to go in, and us going in and pouring our time into them.
It's see the
amazing.
change. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You messed up and do something like that. You've got to be, you've got to do your time. But
you gotta pay for
but
it.
knowing that they are treated a little different because they've accepted, God and or some form of religion there. That hey, they do get a 2 weekends out of the year to feel a little bit of freedom, anyways. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Well, anything else about the Kairos that I might have left out?
I just wanted to clarify. So you're saying that there hasn't been a stabbing at all?
No. There has been in the prison, but not in the certain cell blocks.
In that block,
these guys,
right.
Not in, probably now it's probably been a year.
See, when you said that, I thought there hadn't been a stabbing since that was around the people that had walked into the cell block. But you're saying there hasn't been one in that cell block at all.
Completely changed the atmosphere of that cell block.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Everly?
And they went into one of the hardest cell blocks that there was stabbings daily, weekly. I mean, it's.
I don't really know what to say.
Would you want to go possibly one day to talk to the?
They have a women's. You can go into Tutwiler.
Well,
women's Kairos.
To talk to just to talk to them about Jesus.
That's right.
You like spreading a little Jesus, don't you?
That's right.
Well, that's good. Well, let's move on to something a little bit, I'm going to say more personal.
All right.
The time you was, I think it was a storm and at night.
Yep.
And you made contact with 7,200 volts of electricity.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know that for some people, I've personally lost a friend because of that.
Me too.
And it can still happen to me. I mean, I'm still out there every day, not necessarily with the power lines, but it can happen.
Yep.
But is that something you can walk us through? Maybe what y'all were called on and how things happen and how quickly your guys was able to maybe get you down and get you to checking and making sure you was all together.
So if anybody remembers when Zach Williams came in June of 21, he came and sang at Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Zach Williams is a Christian artist, chain breaker and all those things. So he came to Sand Mountain. I guess Oak Mountain, that's back in the 90s. He came to Sand Mountain, and it dumped absolute. I'm talking about Forrest Gump
rain,
dump,
big old
fat rain. I mean, it was nasty. We took some of our youth up there, and half of our youth, or half the ones that signed up, decided before we ever left the church they weren't going. Then the rest of them, when we got up there, it was raining so hard
they didn't get
out of the bus. So we went to Mountain Air Trampoline Park for a couple hours and then went home. And
the one in Albertville.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were not getting out. They were not standing in that, but a lot of people did. But I mean, it just solid rained.
Can't believe he just put the show on. Anyways.
And he did. He went on with it. And so we went home, took all them home, went to bed. I was wore out from a long day. I can't remember what I did that whole day. I was tired. I didn't even want to go. I was glad they didn't want to go in that concert because I was already dead.
Yeah.
And I went home, went to bed. My wife woke me up about a little after midnight and said, "Hey, your phone's blowing up.
That 1-6 phone's getting after it."
That's right. So I woke up and I was like, "Oh man!" So called in, like, "Yep, we got stuff down everywhere. Need to come in. If you can, come in and help." So I sure didn't feel like it that night, but I did.
And this was 2020.
21.
21. That's
Yep.
what I thought. Okay.
Yep, 21. So it was Saturday, and that Sunday turned into Father's Day.
Okay.
So it was Father's Day of 21 that I actually got electrocuted. So went in that night, went to Richardson Street. They just got that on. Then said I was on the service crew. Had that little 4-wheel drive bucket, and so they said, "We need you to go see if you can get behind some houses over here on Wythe Drive." And so I knew several other people had been there, looking at phones, looking at radars, seeing another wave come in.
Trying to hurry.
We first tried to get my truck in there and just absolutely buried it. I mean, just buried it. So had to winch it out, took time hooking it, getting it back out, and then we were getting everything off. And then I was looking, I was like, oh gosh, we're about to get pounded with another another
It is
sail's
about
about to hit us. So, hey, let me get up here. We had other guys that could have climbed it, could have done it. I was like, hey, let me get up here. I can get it done the quickest. Let me get up here, knock it out.
I'm a squirrel.
Yeah, jump up there, knock all this out. We'll go get somewhere else. When the rain hits, we'll be on the road somewhere. We'll be somewhere we can work out of a bucket instead of off of hooks. And so with that, I did not walk it out. I did not go find my open point. I skipped a bunch of steps that I knew I should not skip.
Well, that's something nobody ever tells.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it is
whether and usually it's always somebody didn't do a job, but for you to just straight up just come in and say it was, but you wasn't the only one there.
Yeah,
I don't think.
No,
but
absolutely
but
not.
still, I'm not. We're not pointing fingers, but it's impressive that you were like, well, I mean, I could have as easily as whoever else was there. So yeah.
Yeah, right. So, and I had a transformer on the pole, and the transformer was still online, but I had open secondary. So when the tree fell and tore the primary and neutral down, it also tore down the open secondary, tripped the pot off internally. CSP pot tripped off internally. First pot on that line, everything's dark. And so before I climbed it, I did take I looked, all right, this one's online, everything's off. There's nothing off this way. I thought I knew how it fed. It was hard on. There was no cutout.
Right.
So it was first tap out of the substation. I thought it was on the cutout. I thought it was down. So, I mean, I skipped not just that step. I didn't ground it. I got up there.
No test, no ground.
I know it. I didn't. I mean, I skipped a bunch of steps. I was tired. I just wanted to get it done. And so, sure enough, get up there. I buckled in between the transformer braces like I normally do, and then I'll walk down to my belt and just kind of let my belt hold me and take some pressure off my feet so I can stay up there as long as I want to. So that's what I had done, and then I was noticing that it had broke. It didn't break clean, so I was going to reach up and grab the primary and grab my side cutters and cut it clean so I could
pop that auto back in there.
And so I had raised up on that. I was in between the transformer braces with my belt and stepped up in my belt. And when I grabbed a hold of it, luckily, I mean.
So your belt was in between the transformer bolts?
Yes.
Okay.
And
so
the transformer hangers.
Yeah.
So it was kind of pulling down on me. And so luckily I didn't have a leg. I didn't have any of my body on the neutral. All I had was my hand around the pole, and I grabbed the primary to pull it down. And then I was going to grab my side cutters, cut it, and then, pull it up to me. So by the grace of God,
absolutely,
I grabbed it, and all I had was my hand on the pole and hand here, and it, crossed my heart, went through me. But if I'd have been on the neutral or anything else, I'd have,
it would have probably been different.
It would have been a lot different story.
Our story
it wouldn't be here. Somebody else would be telling it. But yeah, and not having, and also I just see God working in that. Going to Paducah in 2009, working at Ice Storm. I got to work with Huntsville Utilities a lot. Me and Sean Blonger and Baloney from Huntsville Utilities did a lot of climbing back and on that storm. It was still, when we got up there, it was straight ice, everything down, cold. We walked out of the motel every day, and it was like 8 degrees, 9 degrees, 7 degrees. So I climbed that whole week.
Frozen poles, too.
But I climbed in muck boots, Woody Max muck boots.
Yep.
And after climbing that week, I thought, oh, my gosh, I love climbing in muck boots. I'm not going to put on any lineman boots again. I'm done with it.
They work good.
Did not realize muck boots, not tested, not rated for it, have a dielectric value. Even Shannon Corbett, when he was in that accident up there, he asked me after my accident, did you have on muck boots? I said, yeah. He said, I did too. That's the only thing that didn't blow my feet out. So everybody else that I've known that has got energized on the pole has had blown their feet out, blown their calves out, had to have skin grafts, had all of that. It didn't go out my feet. All it did was cross my heart, went in one hand, out the other hand, into the pole, and I was blessed.
Wow.
And I say this too. I think another possibility, was the fact you were soaking wet, and it.
Oh, I was.
You was obviously probably like this, and you had bat wings and all with your shirt, probably long sleeve. I bet. So, and I'll say that too. One of my coworkers when I worked for Alabama Power, he had made contact, and they did have to do a little work on him, but he was back, and he's back to work. Been back to work for several years now, but a lot of it was.
So that was Daryl Jackson took this picture and put on his Snapchat story. I zoomed in and took that off. Happy Father's Day. He was saying, Happy Father's Day to y'all. We're out working. Happy Father's Day. He put that on his Snapchat. That's the wire I grabbed.
Yeah.
He put that on his Snapchat, put his phone in his pocket. Probably 1:56 is when I grabbed that wire. Like literally
So
1 minute.
I
after
see that
picture.
photo all the time, but I
That
just
was-
now realized that's
Yeah.
that's moments before the
That was
accident.
literally 1 minute before I got electrocuted.
Wow. What do you think, Ev? I mean, he was electrocuted. You got any thoughts on that? Up a pole.
Yep. Not good.
Nothing. Are you a little bit just
She's still
not sure
mesmerized.
about? I mean, that's impressive, isn't it? Daryl took a picture of him at 1:55, and at 1:56, he had gotten electrocuted.
Wow.
So, and then I know this next part a little bit, but I didn't know that your belt was in between. You had to, I guess, unsafety to get out from around that transformer.
Oh, man. So when it hit me, I mean, it felt like it was 15 minutes, but it probably wasn't 5 seconds. But when it hit me, it blew me back. And so me had stepped up. And like I said, my belt was pulling down on my body because I had reached up. And then when it hit me and blew me back, I fell back in my belt. And my arms fell down on that neutral, and it felt like it had just blown my arms completely off. Wearing a long sleeve shirt, I literally looked like and felt like when my arms fell down on that neutral, I looked and they were blown completely off my body. I mean, I could not feel. I mean,
That's how you felt.
That's how I felt. I was a torso standing on the pole, and literally, it's so crazy what thoughts go through your mind. Literally, the first thing I thought was, "Holy crap! My wife is going to have to wipe my life." And I swear, I mean, that's so weird that you would think that.
I mean, that's honestly.
Because I was still alive. Obviously, I'm going to live. I hope I'm going to live, but if I do, my wife is going to.
I saw a post the other day about it was Lyman, but it did happen to him, and that was the first thought. Like if somebody has to wipe, somebody has to wipe his
It's a
butt
bad
forever, and man, that's the worst part of my day. So I don't want
in
somebody else to do it.
In that moment, I did not have arms. They were, the pain, they were blown. I felt like they were off of my body and laying in my sleeves.
Just in your shirt.
And in the way it looked, the way my arms were just limp and the way it looked like they were, I was like, oh my gosh, it was just so surreal. That moment, that feeling like, how did this happen? You're like, God, I'm trying to serve you. What is going on? How do you let this happen? And then just sitting there, and it was just like everybody just screaming, Warren, what do we do? What do we do? And I was like, get your gear on and get me off this pole, call 911 and get an ambulance on the way now. So I'm up.
You're having to coach them on what to do to save your life.
What to do, yeah. And so they're like, okay, so Daryl's like, he doesn't know. He was like, oh my gosh. And then Nathan Hanner was there trying to find his gear. They're calling 911. They called other crews, everybody. Michael Brown was in a bucket on another job, and he said he was working. All of a sudden, they had go lights on the pole, and all of a sudden, he's up there working everything. All of a sudden, the pole it just goes dark. And he's like, where did all the trucks go? Where is everybody?
Get down, Michael.
He had no clue. Yeah, but so everybody was flying that way and heading that way, and me just sitting up there waiting on them to get the ambulance there and get me off the pole. And all of a sudden I'm just sitting there and just like, what the heck? And then, I had my belt in between that. So I just kind of lay back in my belt. And as I laid my head back, Daryl's on the ground screaming, Warren. I was like, what? And I just kind of looked down. He said, oh my God, I thought I was watching you die. He said, don't do that. He's like, stand up. And so he was like really, freaked out. And so,
it's understandably so.
But as I'm standing there, I just literally, my left arm just kind of twitched.
Woke up.
And I was like, oh my God, I just felt that. And I could literally feel the blood just coming back into my whole arm. I just feel it coming back into my hand. And I was like, oh my God, I have an arm. And then just a few seconds later, my right arm did the same thing. It just twitched. And then I was like, oh my gosh. And I could feel the blood literally.
That's got to be the weirdest feeling.
Weirdest feeling. It's so weird. And then I was like, oh, and I slowly started moving. They hurt, but I was moving my hands. I was like, oh my gosh. I started squeezing stuff to see if I could get pressure. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can feel. And I just told them, I was like, hey, get out from under me. I said, I'm going to unbelt and I'm going to climb down. If I fall, I'll hit the grass. We'll deal with that later.
It's muddy and soft.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, just get out from under me. I'm coming down. So I climbed down the pole.
This man was struck by 7,200 volts of electricity and what felt like an eternity, but
How did you go?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How did you climb down the pole like that?
He probably felt like a squirrel that had his bell rung when it fell out of the tree, but then tried to climb the tree again right after that. It's probably kind of similar to what he felt like. Yeah. But that's got to be the most impressive part of your story is the fact that you thought your arm, you could see them, but they didn't feel attached. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, or, moments, it just, they just reattach miraculously, basically, is what it probably felt like, because it's definitely an unreal feeling. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, heck, tell them to keep working. I'm gonna calm down. That's right. We got meters that need to be spinning. Tell Michael to get back up that pole. That's right.
By the time I got down, took my gloves off and checked everything out, the ambulance pulled up, went and sat in the ambulance and headed to UAB Burn Center. So
wow. And any physical marks?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've still got scarring in the hand. You can
so
tell
it come out this finger.
It went in this hand.
I can see it. Yeah.
It burned that hole, all the skin off there. Burned a big hole into there. It was 3rd degree, but they can't do skin grafts on the inside of the palms because of the way your hands move. Burned this thumb off, or all the skin off of that. Right here, that scarring went in there. Burned all of this right here. All of that.
Just dang
webbing. Yeah. Gone. It was just all that was burned away. There was a big hole right there, and then burned the inside of that finger, inside of that thumb.
How long was the healing process?
It was a good while. It was 6-8 weeks before I actually played softball 9 days later. So that was on a Sunday. I think we played on Tuesday nights then.
Dedication.
I showed up to the game Tuesday night. And
church league.
Yeah. And then I was all wrapped up. Now I stood in the dugout sidelines. But the following, I mean, they got some good padding down there that they started giving me. And I was in the house and I wrapped up and put some batting gloves on. I was standing in the house swinging. I was like, I don't know, Heather. I was like, I couldn't wrap my hand, but I could golf swing.
Yeah.
I could put my thumb up like a golf club.
I broke my thumb one time in baseball, and I had to swing like that. It was weird. That's right. But I wasn't burnt. But
so I did play center field, and I did catch some that really hurt. But I was like, God, I don't care. I can feel it. I'll take the pain. Yeah, I still have arms.
You can use them.
That's right.
Holy smoke! So you played 9 days later. That's awesome. I don't think I could do it. What do you think, Ev?
Yeah, you could.
You like the pain?
I don't think.
But I have a friend that worked at Marshall DeKalb that got burnt, but he's still working and moving on and right. keeping on. But then my other friend, I was actually with Alabama Power, and he was a contractor up in working for Arab, and was working on a steel pole. And my brother, me and my best friend were on the same crew.
Yeah.
And Avery texted me and him in the group and said, "Y'all boys be careful." And that red flag, I mean, my brothers never text something like that, especially in a group.
Yeah.
And I just called him. I just picked my phone right up, read that, and called him. And I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, I heard a lineman got killed today. And I said, "Do I know him?" And he said, "Yeah." And I named him, and I mean, and I don't know why. Like, I'd never heard bad stories about this guy. That he was a bad worker or lazy or just cut corners. I never heard that. Yeah. But I said, "Do I know him?" And he said, "Yeah." And I named him, and it was my dad when he first started pastoring. It was at Friendship Church, and that's where their family was. And and he had 3 boys, and I sat there for a little bit, and I remember where we went for the next job, and I could probably almost drive you there, but I looked at my lead and I said, "You care to take me in?" And he said, "What is it?" I said, I'm not here right now, and I'm not no good to y'all, and I'm not no good to me. I said, I just need to go home.
Was it Shane?
It was, Shane Galloway.
Yeah.
And I loaded up and went home for a minute, and then I turned around. I don't remember if it was that day or the next, and I just drove to Arab. And I done my, I guess I call it CSI. And anytime we ever had trouble or a broke pole, and we'd try to figure out how this car would, wreck. So we CSI'd the scene, But I looked and I'm like, I mean, you can see the poles black, where he was at and this. And I was like, that's something that, I'm thankful that I've never saw that. I can see why Daryl was freaking out,
Yeah.
even though you were talking,
Yeah,
I
right.
could still understand why there was moments where if you were quiet for just a minute, I would be like, you got to sing a song or say something, Warren. Let me know you're still moving, because I'm going to need to know that too. So
Shane and I worked together at Chandelier when I first got married. Putting Heather through school, we built cabinets together at Chandelier, and I knew him, worked with him for a while, then left there to go to Gunnersville Electric, and then ended up seeing him, the tornadoes in Albertville. We worked together down by the high school.
Yeah.
And he had gone and started with a contractor, and he came up, and we talked a while there, and I was like, that he got into line of work. He knew I'd went to Gunnersville Electric, and then
I cut trees a lot
so
then,
surreal.
and he'd call every now and then and come up there and get firewood. He'd split firewood. I don't know if they had. I think it was just for them or his family. I mean, he was
Hard worker. He was.
Worked with him
Cowboy.
every day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
Great guy.
Loved life, loved his family. It's still. I think it was close to your birthday. Just to be honest, Blake. Not to just not to just throw shade on your birthday right there, but it was close to the Labor Day weekend, I think. Yeah. So it's been and that was hard on me, and and a lot of people. But our union that I was in, they allowed me to they gave me a Bible to give to his wife and kids, and it really, seeing the brotherhood come together in that moment was a impressive moment, and I hate every year they'll do a rundown on, I think, line junk or one of those, and it's like people we've lost this year, and at one time that name was on that list, and I was like, man, I freaking, his name was in my contact on my my phone book and my phone, and
that's right.
And it sucked, but yeah. Anyways, I know I said this is an entertaining podcast, and we kind of got off right there a little bit, but Warren has stories that I think people need to hear. That to
Absolutely.
me, that's not necessarily entertaining, but it's something that opened up other people's eyes, watching God work through you, allowing you to continue living and continue with your church and your youth groups and your ministries that you're part of, and seeing change and all that. So that's a great story that I felt like I needed you to tell. Maybe for me, maybe for all of us, but I really didn't know some of it, and we worked together, and I know we talked about it a little bit, but there was still some I didn't know about. But
I have a crazy question.
Yeah.
So, have you gotten any superpowers? I guess from the
Dang it!
the
That
shot?
only happens in movies.
See,
no. Yeah, he does, and we're about to get into that. We're about to get there, but somehow he must have got electrocuted when he was 4.
Oh, okay.
And then this one just was like a boost. Like maybe he peed on a fence or something back then because it's been just an ongoing process, and I feel like maybe. So we had a unplanned commercial right there, but we did need the break. But we're back to the grind and the good times. And what Blake was asking Warren was if he had any superpowers, and I had said something about, I think so, when he peed on a fence or grabbed one when he was a little kid. And then, I feel like, every now and then you need that recharge. Like your batteries, they're not gonna. When they die, they die. But you can get a little recharge every now and then, and maybe that recharge them. Because, I mean, I don't know if you want to tell us how old you are or not. It's up to you. But I'm pretty close to knowing how old you are, and I still know how much everything you still compete in and play, and a year and a half ago you was getting up once a week at 4:30 and going to play basketball before work.
We still do. Yeah.
Okay, so he's still doing that, and he was playing
Men's league,
church league,
Yep.
and then tournaments. So did you say in that all summer too? Tournaments too?
No, we did. We started out with 40s, but we kind of. I was wanting to focus on 40s this year.
Yeah,
we started.
I know you've been looking for that senior group because you're getting close.
It's so fun. It's so fun. But we kind of split up, so I just kind of had an easier summer just playing league, and we played a few starting out. But yeah.
Well, when we played together, I'm going to bring up this tournament. We played in Dalton, Georgia, and that was the first ISA Worlds that I got to participate in. Mm-hmm. And I was a co-sponsor to that team. And we get there and they're like, hey, Tyler, do you care to let our runner, we could steal bases in the ISA. So we brought a base runner, but then they're like, hey, do you care if he plays the outfield? And you just set out. And I got a little bit sensitive about it, or salty maybe. And I was like, I don't like this. But then, it worked out. It started coming a flood.
Yeah.
I'm talking, when you stand in the batter's box, we were playing on dirt fields, not turf, like you get to play at Albertville. So the batter's box was ankle deep to the minimum, I would say. And dirt, it's not lightning right now, so we're going to keep playing. And I think we just had the one or two extra players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And during that rainy game, 3 of us got hurt, and me and you were both them, and mine was running to first base.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
I was
playing
catching the ball in the outfield and just lost it in the water. Did the splits, but but finished the catch. No, I caught it and came up to throw. That's what it was. I caught it and came up to throw, and as I was stepping, my feet just went different ways, and I finished the throw, but I just tore my groin.
I tore my hamstring running to first because the first baseman kind of got in the way, and it was about to get. I felt serious with me and him, colliding, and it ended up just me slowing down and ripping my hamstring out.
Right.
So, and then our first baseman, I think, rolled his ankle, and then I was like, Warren was hurt pretty bad.
Oh yeah.
Tearing a groin, yeah.
And mine hadn't really. My hamstring was torn, but it wasn't bad yet. I'll say it like that.
Right.
Because I went. They're like, Warren's like, can you play? And I'm like, yeah. I've got to. I just been crying over here to you about them letting somebody else play and me sit on the bench. So I went to the bathroom and taped my leg. Dropped my pants in there, taped my legs tight as I could, and I come out and I played the rest of that. Was that game 1 or game 2?
No, yeah, it was
game 2,
2 or 3, yeah.
Because we had to wait. We played one more game, I think, and then we did get to move over to the turf.
That's
fields.
right. That's right.
And it was a long delay though.
Oh, it was.
And I'd been icing and medicating and just trying to keep myself together because I know we're now shorthanded. We've got 3 of us hurt.
Right.
And then we get over there and my brother and our center fielder collide. So it's just really getting serious. And I think we still finished like 3rd or 4th in that after just all that hectic stuff. But
I ended up having to come back in and catch. But I couldn't hit. I couldn't step into the ball and hit.
It was
bad.
I had bruised from the bottom of my butt cheek to the middle of my calf.
Oh yeah.
But I finished tearing it as I kept playing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have several video that we can try to get posted. But it was
sloppy.
It was. I think I've actually got some on this same video. You may have sent this to me.
Yep.
So I'll try to get that where we can show everybody of what
nasty.
we played in. But it was.
Nasty.
It should have been called or delayed or something.
I can't believe the complex let them play.
I can't neither. That whole tournament right there was just chaos from the moment the first raindrop hit to I don't even know what time it was when we was all just hurting.
Right.
But I've had so many good, softball games with you. I remember I've got a video. It was a church league team that I was playing on, and we were playing y'all, and we were, one of those teams that I think finished like at the bottom. And I was one of the better players on the team, so that says a lot about how bad the team is. So I get up to bat, and for those that don't know, it starts off with a 1-1 count. You got 1 ball, 1 strike as soon as you step in the box. So I get up there and Brandy decides the video, and that's just, I'm not gonna do good when she does that. And you was pitching, I think,
Might have been.
maybe, and I whiffed the first one, and I'm talking swung out of my shoes, my back popped, I dropped the bat. Took me a minute to get my bearings together, and everybody's over there horse laughing because I know half of y'all, my whole family's laughing because it's me, and I'm like, okay. So I finally, get myself back up there, and I hit it to right center gap, and I kind of started off jogging, but then I was like, you just swung and missed. Yeah. They're already making fun of you, so I just dug it in right there, and hustled out a head first slide into third base triple. And I was like, I think we scored 2 runs that night, and I was one of them, and y'all beat us like 16 or 18-2 or something like that. But you was either pitching or playing in the outfield. I think you were pitching. Me and you talked about it somewhat recently after that, but man, it's always been awesome playing softball when you were there. It's always been more fun when we were on the same team, because we learned each other. I felt like pretty quick. We both, knew if I was in center or I felt like, man, we were real similar in the outfield. We could play all 3 positions out there, and we knew where each other was going to be most of the time. But I've not played against you in basketball, and I'm not going to.
I'm a lot slower now.
Well, I dribble with both hands, so I'm tall, but I have no idea how to play basketball hardly. Right. I mean, I played a little bit in elementary school, and I've got a goal out here in the shop, but I have to lower it down just so I can feel like I'm somebody. Yeah. But tell us about just your love for sports. I mean, did you play football too in high school?
I did. Yeah.
So you played it all. I mean, it's just was that something that you knew when you was little that you just loved it? Yep. Well, that's
tennis. I feel like we played it all. I mean, I was even in a bowling league in the summer. Me and Mark Thigpen, Jeremy Ray, and Andrew Gregg. That was our 4-man bowling team.
Would you be interested in another bowling league coming? No, you don't want to be part of the Sure Shot bowling team.
I mean, we did bowling. I played tennis, baseball, basketball, football. I mean, I just felt like I feel like all that makes you a well-rounded athlete, more than just playing one sport.
Well, and if you just want to continue talking about your athleticism, you were on the cover of the Welcome to Gunnersville pamphlet there, wakeboarding, if I'm not mistaken. And we're trying to get a picture of that so we can throw that up here. But that's right. I mean, everybody in Gunnersville knows Warren Jones, and the only people that just love giving you down the road is the ladies at JJ's, and that cracks me up. And the day I watched y'all just kind of aggravating each other, I didn't really. They throw me off the first 15 times I ever been there. I didn't know them, but I knew I liked JJ's. And then I seen you there one day, and I was like, I mean, is this normal? And then we went to school together and this and that, and they crack me up just. Yeah. Giving you down the road, because they're the only people I know that give you down the road. Yeah. And everybody else is just like, when we see Warren, it's like, Warren's, we're all excited to see you and this, and they're just like, throwing that middle finger out when Warren pulls up in the drive-thru. So right. Like, they will. Maybe I love those ladies. I don't know. Ain't no shame in their game. Then they'll cook him a cheeseburger and with love at the same time. I don't know how it works, but they love him. I think as much as I do, but just maybe a different in a different form. I don't know, but it cracks me up. But I know. How many years have you been with the electric board?
23.
23 years. And you, I mean, obviously was a seasoned man when the contact happened. But now you've got a new role recently. Yeah. You want to talk about that real fast?
Well, I mean, it hadn't happened yet. Gil has retired.
Gil's retired, okay.
Jason's trying to figure out who's going to take my spot, so we haven't made.
Oh, somebody messed that up.
We hired somebody. We had a guy who could have stepped right in, but
he's a letdown. He got too busy. He couldn't. This brain of his scrambles around. Sorry, I'm sorry. I do appreciate that.
He left us and tried to start a podcast. I don't know how that's going for him, but
episode 002 in the makes right now.
It's paying the bills, ain't it, Tyler?
Yeah. You know, Odell's was here on my first one, which was just 2 nights ago, and when he left, he's like, "I'm gonna try to help you out a little bit."
Yeah.
And I joked with him about, I think you're donating $10 for this episode,
Yeah.
and but no, I don't have any sponsors, and I haven't asked for any money or any donations. This is just whatever happens. But I'm here to try to entertain, bring guests that entertain. I knew you had multiple stories about good and bad, but really, I don't think any of it was bad. I mean, yeah, for a minute it was,
right.
But man, the stuff that's come from it and the things that you've got to witness with the prison stuff, that's top of the book for me. I really like that story. I didn't know as much as I remembered anyway. I probably forgot a lot or didn't realize y'all. It's been 1.5 years, I think, since we really has it been that long since I've been gone?
Yeah, you've been gone a while.
A lot has changed. I've got a kid that not many people even know about. So I know it's been 9 months and some change, 10 months. So it looks like we lost one of our co-hosts too.
Right.
So she got cold, I think, had to go warm up. But I think she's learned a lot, maybe tonight if she was paying attention. And me and Blake's both learned that you've had electricity in your veins since a long time ago.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Okay.
Tell your mama she's got to listen to this podcast. Shout out to her. Shout out to your whole family. Gosh, any championships that you won in anything? Even
Basketball, leagues. I mean,
you got some league. League
I've
champs. What about like Worlds?
I've only been to Worlds a couple times.
Okay.
Been to PCB twice and been to, the Worlds in Dalton a couple times.
I got third last year. That was my first and probably only time, but we were in rec.
It's really tough to be a travel. The reason I'm not on travel teams as much because I do youth ministry. I do, so much other stuff. I don't have the time
to. This is half of the list that he does.
Right.
So that's why I knew too. Like
people
I said,
want somebody that could be there every weekend, and that's just not me. So it doesn't happen.
Right. And I haven't played. I played in the spring with my company team.
Right.
And that was embarrassing. I love the sport. And when I first started playing softball, I'd done it just to have something to do. I was like, man, I want to play. It's been a while.
Right.
And we were terrible. And then you finally get a win, and you're like, man, that felt good.
Yeah.
You forget how good a win feels.
Oh, yeah.
And then you move on in, and you're man, we got third place.
Yeah.
And then we got some potential. I'm going to call so-and-so and see if he wants to play. And then you're beating a conference team in the league, but you don't win the whole league, but you beat them during the regular season, and that felt good.
Yeah.
I really, and I strived hard to help put together teams that won. And then when I put together my Sure Shot company team, like 8 of them had never played. We had good looking uniforms.
There you go. That's right.
I didn't like. They were like, I think 3 people. I had Chris Knight come and help me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I had to have 2 or 3, come in just because I think I only had like 9 people that play. So I had to pick up a couple.
Right.
And it really made a difference for a minute. Like I saw Chris Knight finally got so tired of losing, he just laid out one night. And we won that game. Like, we ain't losing tonight. And I said, oh yeah, whatever it takes, we're gonna win this game. We're not we'd went 0-10 in regular season. Dang. And it was the tournament. We won the first game. Almost won the second.
Wow.
And we'd finally improved. But some of those games in the spring was during spring break, and a couple of families were on vacations and this and that. So we was bad, but we might not have. We probably wasn't a real 0-10 bad.
Yeah.
But I didn't play the summer because Brandy was pregnant most of the summer, and she likes to go out and be part of that atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to do that to her, being pretty pregnant and hot, and
Oh yeah,
then I had to come home and live with her too, you know.
that's right.
But I do want to give a shout out to our producer tonight. He's back there behind the camera, Ben Todd. He's going to be part-time, full-time producer and sometimes a co-host. And I think we've got a good program going. I feel like it's going to be good. I need to get some. I don't know. I got to get us out there, and I think Warren Jones is the man to put us on the map.
Yeah, I
so,
don't know about
so you get out there tomorrow, and you just get some shoe polish or some window chalk, and,
That's right.
and write our YouTube on the back of your
That's right.
Jeep, and
There you go.
and you that'll be everybody wanting to follow us. Then they'll
Yeah.
think you've got something to do with every episode. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's you got anything else, Blake? You want to?
Is there your church that you
Yeah.
attend? Do you want to plug
First
that church? or
First
plug
Baptist Gunnersville. We love
Awesome.
it. Youth group, come hang out with us. We got a lot going on. Men's groups, we got a lot going. Love to have anybody. Love to be there.
Awesome. We'll shoot you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to Heather for allowing us
That's right.
a little bit of time with
That's
with
right.
Mr. Warren Jones tonight. We'll end episode 002 like this. I wanted to continue a shout out for King's Discount Home Center. I'm going to give Odell's Outdoor Archery one more shout out. And, Sure Shot Utilities, I guess, is somewhat of a sponsor since how I own them. And they probably did buy this podcast equipment. But we'll give them a shout out too. And all my guys, I appreciate the hard work they do to allow me to play and have fun and have these sit down moments. Thanks to Everly for being our co-host and our water girl tonight. And if that's it, I'm gonna end it with y'all be safe, be careful, behave, don't do anything illegal, immoral, unethical, or just plain stupid. Thanks, guys.